So I posted my guide on how to get S rank on the Hanami Imagine Realm earlier today, and in that one I only done 18 points because previously, historically, 18 points was all you need in order to get all of the rewards. However, as one of my viewers pointed out, actually the rewards is now actually maxed out at 24 points, which I didn't know about that before. And I don't know when this has been changed, so I'm actually a bit annoyed now that I didn't realize this earlier because I could have missed out on quite a bit of rewards. But anyway, what's done is already done. And now that I have realized it, I will be, actually updating my guides to make sure that I cover 24 points going forward. So as a result, I'll be redoing my guide and this time showing you guys how to get S rank, but this time 24 points so that you can get all of your rewards. And as my original video, I'll be showing you guys a strat both with Nobara and also with Team Gojo. Now for the Nobara version, it's actually quite straightforward because all you need to do, what makes it easier than Team Gojo is basically you can choose this debuff, so you get 3 extra free points. And as a result, you don't actually have to increase the bulkiness of the enemy. You can still keep those 2 debuffs unlocked, so you still don't need to select the HP or the damage taken, decreased damage taken on the enemy. So as a result, all you need to do is just make sure you survive. So the strategy I'm going to show you guys is exactly as my original strategy. All I've done is I have changed up the recollection. So rather than 2 damage increasing recollections on both Kaito and also Blue Momo, I've now changed it to 2 healing or damage reduction ones. So mutual trust and also witch from pass. And that's pretty much all you need. Now the other thing you will also notice me doing is that rather than actually increasing curse energy for the whole team using Kaito skill 3, I don't actually need to do that anymore because I'm kind of finish off the battle in just 6 turns with my Nobara. So instead what I have done is that I didn't do any buff on turn 1 with my Yaga because I am conserving my curse energy, and instead what you see me doing every single turn is that I'll actually be using the skill 2 from my Kaito to make sure my Yaga stays healthy. And on top of that, I also have this healing recollection, well, this ult increase but also healing recollection to make sure he get a bit extra HP, and also because of dupe 1 effect allow me to do more damage. That's kind of how I am still able to kill off the boss in just 6 turns with my Nobara. Now having said that, as I shown you in my first video earlier today, my Nobara is highly invested, right? This is level 10 skills, and also I have unlocked all of the raw stats in the potential. So if I just click on the potential again, just to show you guys, in case you didn't see the original video, I have unlocked all of the raw curse technique stats. I just did unlock the 2 additional skills, but everything else has been unlocked in the potential side, and all of my skill level were at level 10 as well. So that's kind of why I was able to beat this very, very easily. Now, if your Nobara is not as highly invested, what you can do is potentially just invest in her a bit more and also unlock her extra potential, and that should make it easier for you guys as well.
相手の動きを観察片付けます。しっかりしろ。行くわよ。決まっていきましょう。援護します。このまま払うわよ。そこです。そこです。最善の片付けます。しっかりしろ。行くわよ。授業を始めよう。決まっていきましょう。邪魔はさせない。かかってこいや。そこです。片付けます。集中。行くわよ。授業を始めよう。決まっていきましょう。邪魔はさせない。くそ。そこです。
可愛くないやつばっかりね。
最善。
舐められるのごめんな。し
っかりしろ。行くわよ。授業を始めよう。
ぶっ飛ばしちゃって。
援護します。そこです。そこです。そろそろ本気を出す。準備万端。こっからよ。では教育の時間だ。呪連素術。通例情報。最後まで気は抜くな。逃がすか。相手の
可愛い。
集中。相手してやる。では教育の時間だ。皆さんは前に集中を。ともより。終わった終わった。
Okay, now let me show you the Gojo version of how to get 24 points and S rank. So basically the Gojo version is slightly tougher than Nobara purely because you can't actually get 3 extra points from the fact that you're not playing Gojo because you are actually using him now as your DPS. So you have to remove this and get 3 points elsewhere. And the extra 3 points you're going to pick is going to be this decreased damage taken from the enemy. The reason why you want to pick this rather than the HP one is that this can be basically interactive with how much buff you're doing and therefore just be cancelling out some of your buff, whereas the HP will be raw stats buff on the boss, which is a lot harder for you to deal with. It just means more. So basically that's kind of why you pick the reducing damage taken rather than the raw HP stats increase on the boss. Now, other than that, the rest is exactly the same. I am changing my Hanami to Toge, and that's kind of same as how I explained it in my original video. You need Toge here because your Team Gojo just have a much longer ult gauge than Nobara, so therefore you actually need to increase his ult somehow, and that's kind of where you need your Toge to do his skill 2 back-to-back 3 times in a row. Now, when you're doing that, Toge's skill 2 also provide damage reduction, so you actually realize your Yaga's not taking so much damage, and that's kind of why the Reclassion on my blue Momo, I don't have to play Mutual Trust anymore. Instead, I can put in another damage increase in Reclassion, and that's kind of why I have it here. Now, you'll see that my Team Gojo is only a 0, so that's kind of why, you know, it's definitely doable. However, he's highly invested in the sense that if you actually take a look at his potential, I have to do it just for this stage, by the way. That's kind of why this wasn't in my original video, but I'll have to unlock it now. I'll have to unlock both of the stats buff and also the raw curse technique stats. And then on top of that, I just wanted to make sure, because there's basically a bit of RNG in terms of how many times your crit is actually going to hit. You can actually see from my demo later on, I didn't actually crit on all of my attacks. In fact, I think the main attack didn't actually crit, the last attack didn't actually crit. But because it will be doing 5 hits in total, there's a bit of RNG in terms of how many times you actually land a crit on that 5 hit. So I just want to make it as RNG-less as possible. So I went one step further and I have actually unlocked the potential on my Kaito as well, just to make sure I can do 5% extra damage dealt for yellow technique as well. So that's kind of why you'll see I have a very easy time to actually kill off the boss. Now, if your Team Gojo is not as highly invested as mine, for example, the potential is not as highly leveled up, or the stats are, so the skills are not maxed out, you may actually need a bit of RNG to make sure you actually crit on all 5 of the hits or something like that. Just play around and see how much damage you're actually lacking. But if you have the resources to actually upgrade potential, etc., then you can do exactly what I've done, and you have very easy time to beat it, even if your Gojo is only 0 dude.